Dear friends, welcome to the YouTube channel of the engineer. In this video, I will tell you the history of blackjack, give a brief description of the game, and point out the difference between the American and the European versions. Although blackjack has its roots in the Roman Empire, like poker, it was developed in France in the 18th century. This game, called 21, was reportedly the favorite game of King Louis XV. The game of 21 came to America in the 19th century with the French immigrants. Among these French settlers was a woman named Eleanor Dumont, who was a very experienced blackjack dealer. Eleanor traveled from state to state in America, both promoting and playing the game. After a while, she decided to settle down and opened her place in Nevada City, which she named 21 in French. Her traveling around America worked so well that many people came to Nevada to visit Eleanor's place. By the 20th century, the name of the game was still 21, but that didn't last long. The reason was that, by that time, Americans hadn't liked the game very much. So casinos, in order to increase the popularity of 21, and to attract players to the game, started to place some promotional payments into the game. The most popular of these promotions was the one called blackjack. If players did receive the ace of spades and a blackjack in their initial two cards, meaning jack of spades or jack of clubs, they would win this additional bonus. The name of the game eventually changed from 21 to blackjack. The blackjack promotional bonus was changed from its original form to apply to all the hands with a hand total value of 21 in the first two cards dealt to the player, and all of them were called blackjack. Dear friends, blackjack is currently the most widely played table game in the world. Let me briefly explain how the game of blackjack is played. The aim of the game is to beat the dealer. And when you beat the dealer, you win the hand and you get paid. So how do you beat the dealer? First of all, you must not bust, meaning that the total value of your hand must not exceed 21. Secondly, your hand must have a higher total point value than the dealer, or the dealer must bust. The game is played with 1 to 8 standard 52 card decks. Aces are worth 1 or 11, cards 2 through 9 are worth the value on them. Tens, jacks, queens and kings are each worth 10. The value of a hand is the sum of the values of each of the cards in that hand. However, blackjack, the hand with a total of 21 on the first two cards, is the most valuable hand. After the dealers have placed their bets, the dealer gives each player 2 cards and takes 2 cards for himself. In multi-deck blackjack games, the player's cards are dealt face up, the dealer has 1 card face up and the other card face down. In casinos, in table games, cards that are dealt face down, that is, cards whose values are not visible, are called hole cards. Now let's stop here for a second, dear friends. What did we say? We said that the dealer gets 2 cards, right? 1 face up and 1 face down. That is, 1 face up and 1 whole card. This is the blackjack system in America. But in European version of blackjack, the dealer gives 2 cards to each player, but he only gets 1 face up card. So the dealer doesn't take the other card, the whole card. The Americans call this version of blackjack the European no whole card version, and they use the acronym ENHC. If the dealer's up card is an ace, the dealer announces a side bet called insurance and asks the player if they would like to insure their hands against a possible blackjack of the dealer. If the 2 first cards in your hand is a blackjack, the dealer will then ask you if you would consider even money. We will go into more detail about these later, but for now, keep in mind that you should never accept neither insurance nor even money. That is, if you are not counting cards, of course. These are side bets, and the house edge is always in favor of the casino and much higher than the house edge of blackjack. The game starts with the player to the far left of the dealer, and players have the option to stand, which means not to take a card, hit, which means to take as many cards as they want but one by one, split, which means to split their cards, and double down, which means to double their bets and ask for a single card. When you split the cards in your hand, if the cards you split are two aces, you are only given one card for each of the aces, so you cannot continue to ask for more cards. If the rules of the casino you are playing at include the option to surrender, when you receive your first cards, you can make your first decision as surrender. When you choose this option, you are out of the game and the dealer will refund you half of your bet. After all the players have finished, it's time for the dealer to play his hand. In the ENHC system, which is our system, the dealer draws an additional card face up next to his initial open card. If the total value of his hand is below 17, he has to keep drawing cards, and when he reaches 17 or more, he has to stop. In the end, the dealer's hand is either between 17 and 21 in total, or the value of his hand exceeds 21 and the dealer busts. If the dealer busts as the result of card draws, the players with hands not busted are considered to have won that hand and they receive their payout. If the dealer has not busted, then the players whose hands have a total value greater than the total value of the dealer's hand win the hand and they receive the payout. If the dealer's hand is greater, the dealer wins. If the dealer's and the player's hands have the same total value, it's a draw. Winning players win as much as they bet, but if they have blackjack, they usually get paid 3-2. So that's the general outline of the game. And now let's take a look at why the European no-hole card system, where the dealer is dealt one card instead of two, came into being. There are many factors that have been said about it. They say that the benefits of the ENHC system are as follows. 1. It brings the standard to the casinos. 2. It makes the dealer job easier and avoids mistakes. 3. It simplifies the system and speeds up the game. 4. It prevents the unfairness of the dealer knowing his whole card and therefore the value of his hand, but the players not having this information. Okay, but let me add one more point. And I think this is very important for the casinos. The biggest fear of the casinos is that the dealers might be partners with the players and thus dealers may make the players win, then they split the winnings. In the European system, there is no danger of that because the dealer doesn't have a card in front of him that is face down that he can look at and direct his player accordingly. If you ask me where the ENHC system is used, I can briefly say everywhere except America. Now, let's take a look at what this system changes in the blackjack game. First of all, it changes the basic strategy of the game. For example, if the player has a total of 11 in his hand, he normally doubles his bet when the dealer's up card is a 10. But in this system, it is no longer correct to do this because the dealer's next card may be an ace. The effect of this system is that it increases the house edge of the casino by 0.11%. Let me give you an example. If a player bets $100 in the long run, he will lose an extra 11 cents on each hand. But some casinos compensate for this in favor of the player by adding the option to surrender. Dear friends, this is where I stop with this video. I can't predict how many videos I will have on the subject of blackjack. I will continue until I will have nothing more to tell you on the topic of blackjack, including card counting methods. In my next video, I will give you some statistical percentages in blackjack. For example, what are the odds of our hand busting? What are the odds of the dealer busting, and likewise. If you like the video and want to be informed about my future videos on the subject of casino games, please like and subscribe and mark notifications as all. Thank you for watching, sir. Best regards, the engineer.